Hello everyone, it is the Race Sim Guy here. Hope you're all doing well. Big shout out to Ola Holdor for teaching me how to do the livery on the car, by the way. Brilliant. We're jumping in to Canadian Motorsports Park with a little GT3 race. I enjoy this track, so it was one I just wanted to try out straight away. And believe it or not, we stuck it on pole in quali. I've skipped that because it's pretty boring me going around the track on my own, so we're going to jump straight into the race here. And I've got to say, since the last patch, this is feeling a lot better. I wasn't offended by the handling anyway, but certainly the AI has improved, so let's go. So one of the things I've not mastered yet is my starts. So we lose a couple of places here. I did think about getting past this Merc pretty much straight away. You kind of get past him here, but then I kind of overdo it on this corner, I think. Yeah, we run a little bit wide there. And the better part of Valor was just to slow it up a little bit. And again, we go a little bit wide here on the colder tyres, which lets him slip back up the inside, which I'm not particularly happy about, but we live to fight another day. We've got 10 laps to go, so he's sitting on the outside of me here. Now, before the patch, he would have just ram-raided me off the road here, but I actually really like the way that he just sat alongside me there, didn't do anything brash. I let him go. Like I said, there's time to build things up, so we go chasing after him now. P1 is away, by the way, and you'll find out later on that we took a bit of time to catch him up. So we just settle into our rhythm here. I'm not going to rush to pass this guy. I'm going to pick my point and decide when is the best time to do it. There's a couple of areas of the track, here's one actually, where you can do it, but I thought this time, no, I'm not going to try and ram it up the inside. I'm just going to take it easy. Let the tyres warm up another lap or so. I'll just be quiet now for a little bit so you can enjoy the sound. Now I am sticking close to him here. I thought about trying around the outside here, but there's no point because he was going to pull over to the other side of the track anyway. So again, I've given him a bit of space here, but just thinking if I could banzai up the inside there. I didn't again this time. I'm playing the waiting game, as you can see there. Kind of went in a bit hot there. Just about lost the back end, but managed to pull it round. And you lose a lot of time. Look, there's us now, nearly 0.7 of a second away from him by messing up that hairpin corner. So I think the AI is good. It's consistent now in its speed. I don't think we have any of the concertina issues we have on maybe some of the chicanes on some of the other tracks yet. I need to test a few more tracks, but I'm pretty quick through this last section here, so I pulled that time back pretty quickly. And coming up on this first corner, I find they dab the brakes there. I don't. I just lift off and coast through, and it gives me much more momentum on the way out. So this is my opportunity, I thought. And you can see just jinked a little bit there. I go wide here, so again I ease off a little bit, let him back through. And then thought about pinning out the inside again, but thought better of it. Let him fight for another day. And now I'm close enough to think, well, do I just slide up the inside here? And it's exactly what I do. And again, in the past, that would have knocked us off the track. That was me overdoing it there. I wouldn't say that was the AI's fault. I absolutely threw that up the inside, so probably surprised him slightly. But like I said, in the past, you would have just been banzaied off the road there. But now it's quite attentive to what's going on around it. And he is now behind us, but we don't drop him. He stays in our mirrors for the rest of the race at around about, a second and a half until we catch up to the other guy. So we couldn't get away from him. And now obviously the Lamborghini up front is way ahead. And you'll see over the next couple of laps it actually takes us a long time to claw him back. I think he actually makes a mistake at some point, because we sit at around 3.5 seconds behind him for a very long time. So I'm going to be quiet now for a little bit. I'm going to crank this engine sound up and you can enjoy the chase, and we'll come back towards the end. Yeah, it was probably the scrappiest corner on the race actually. Just overcooked it. But we're halfway through the race and look at the time, he's still 3.4 seconds ahead. We were pulling him in, but not hugely quickly. Now at this point you start to feel the tyres going slightly. You don't have that real prime grip that you had at the start, so it does change the way you drive ever so slightly. I'm still putting in good times though. You can see the delta there. I'm bang on my fastest time for that first sector of this lap. And we just, I think, really try and pin it over the next couple of laps to get close. I genuinely thought the opportunity to win had gone. Again, 3/10 up, just getting that hairpin right. Is starting to claw us back into contention, but I genuinely thought he was going to stay around about 3 seconds ahead of me for the rest of the race. Guys behind have started to check out. Thomas sitting at 3 seconds behind, who we passed earlier on, is way ahead of everybody else. So again, here we go. I was toying between third and second on that last corner. I think second is probably better. Just gives you that edge, and that was a fast lap that. And again, we're already 3/10 up now. Running a bit wide there, but can get away with it. No track warnings now. That was a lot more extreme before the patch, so I think they've done well there as well. And I think playing it at this time of the day as well. This is 8 AM I set to start the race for. Obviously we did qualifying before this as well. But the ambient lighting and stuff is much nicer at this time of day than running at 12 noon. It can be a bit grey and bland. I'm running this on triples, by the way, at 4K with everything maxed out on a 4080 card, and I think we get about 90 FPS on average. So it's running pretty well on my machine, I've got to say. So here we go, coming up to 3 laps to go. And here is when I really start to think, okay, we've got closer. It's under 2 seconds now for the first time since the start of the race. Hit my limiter there, which was a bit silly. But I love the way this car handles. I am going to do a comparison with iRacing, because I do drive the GT4s a lot, or the GT3s, beg your pardon, a lot in... I've got to say, the handling of these cars, for me, certainly the GT3s, is good. I've done a lot of iRacing, I've done a lot of GT3s in iRacing as well. And I don't feel a massive difference. Dare I say, they're maybe a little less slidey, he says as he steps the back end out because he put his foot on the gas pedal too quickly. You can, I think, control slides a little more, which is good. But in general, I think it handles pretty well. Trust me though, handling was the least of PMR's issues. I think some of the classes, so the hypercars we know have got issues, but these cars I think drive really, really well. I haven't tried all of them either, so I am not completely au fait with the handling of things like the Lambo, but certainly the Aston, I have a definite partiality towards the Aston. Drives pretty well. This is pretty standard settings as well. I've not tweaked with the setup much. I have played a lot with my force feedback to get it right. There's a big firmware upgrade for the T818 as well from Thrustmaster in the last week or so as well, which has really changed it for the better. So there we go. We are now less than a second, just 0.7 of a second behind the Lambo. We have got basically another lap after this one to get past him, and he's going to be hard to get past. In a straight line, these Lambos are pretty quick, so I just can't get my foot down quick enough there. You could hear I had to kind of lift off again to avoid sliding, and now he's a full half a second ahead of me again, so it is hammer down. We know we're fast through this last complex, so let's see how we go here. It's the middle here, this is where you really close up, but again, with the tyres slightly going off, you don't have the confidence or grip that you used to. And again, I left it in third that time, should have maybe gone down to second, get a bit more drive off the corner. So I'm really too far back now to do that pass that I've done earlier in the race. So I kind of know now, really, my last chance is to throw it up the inside at the hairpin and see what I can do. He's close here. There we go. 0.3 of a second. So here, this is really my last chance. See, I don't brake there either. I always... so I throw it up the inside, but again, I mean, there's a really good example of the AI recognising I was throwing up the inside, and he steered out of that. He got out of the way, knew I was going to go deep, and kind of avoided me, which I thought was really good. But that was it. That was my last chance, squandered, and he's got a good enough lead now that it's going to be really hard for me to pull this back. So there you have it, our first few laps of PMR on the channel. I judge this on how much fun I'm having, and I've got to say, I'm enjoying this. I am actually enjoying driving this game. So, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sure we'll be back with a bit more of this. If you want the livery, I have put a link to it in the description. Just drop it into the mods folder in PMR, and you will have it available to you. It is a bit of a work in progress, so I will keep updating it. But, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.